Welcome to part 2 of the trading course. Today we're going to be talking about volume and how you should be using it in your trading. But first, I want to do a quick refresher on part 1, which was price action. Can you tell me what time normal pre-market hours are? 7 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Can you tell me what time after hours trading is? From 4 p.m. until 8 p.m. And can you tell me the 4 data points provided to you by a candlestick? Open, close, high, and low. Good? Got it? All right, let's go ahead and move on and let's start discussing volume. The price of literally anything is determined via supply and demand. In the stock market, supply is called float. Float represents the total number of shares currently available to trade on the market. We can see that ticker CRE is currently hitting the moving now section of my real-time stock scanner. This stock scanner also provides you with float data, and we can see that the float on this stock is 1.1 million shares. Once again, that is how many shares are out there in circulation, which are currently available to be traded. So if float equals supply, then what do you think I'm going to tell you equals demand? That's right, it is volume. How many shares are actually being transacted? And coming back into the real-time stock scanner again, remember ticker CRE, 1.1 million share floats. There are 1.1 million shares worth of supply. Well, in the column just to the left of it, we see volume. This represents the total number of volume traded today. And at 8:19 in the morning, this stock is already traded 13.5 million shares of volume. When a company trades more volume than their available float, that is called float rotation. This company has already rotated its float more than 13 times. Price volatility comes from high demand and low supply. And as an active trader, you need to be targeting this type of volatility. Our goal is to find stocks that are moving very fast. And when you have a stock that in pre-market has rotated its float 13 times, you know it's going to be volatile. Look at this breakout here. We'll even draw it from the first breakout candle because this is when it would have hit the scanner. In the next 3 minutes, the stock goes up 150%. Even look at it right now. This current 1 minute candle that we're looking at has just gone up 10% while I've been making this clip. In your investment portfolio, you're probably happy to make 10% in 12 months. When looking at this kind of volatility and being able to target this kind of volatility, I'm not saying in any way you're going to buy the bottom of every candle and sell the top of every candle. I'm not saying you would have made 10, 12% in this move, but I'm saying the opportunity is there. And you can see, of course, on that candle, CRE begin lighting up our real-time stock scanner. Again, you were made aware of it at $7.43 before it just made that push up over $7.70. Last time we'll return to this scanner today, I just want to show you that in the top 20 gainers today list, you can sort them by float. If you click on this twice, you sort it descending, you can now see the lowest supply companies that are getting a decent move this morning. Obviously, compare that to the volume. You can come straight in from this and see, okay, a 700,000 share float. That is micro float. That is extremely small, a very small supply into almost 16 million shares of demand, of volume. That ticker is DAIC. We can come over, we can look at DAIC, and we will very likely see another extremely volatile ticker. So now you know what volume is as it pertains to the economic law of supply and demand. But how does volume actually go up? When does volume increase on a stock ticker? There needs to be 2 parties involved for any amount of volume to ever move. There must be, of course, a buyer, but what a lot of beginners forget is that there is also a seller. Someone is also selling that share to the buyer. It's not like there's just some marketplace that you're buying shares from. No, you are buying the share from someone, or maybe from some algorithm, whatever it is, you're buying the share directly from something. So every single number on the volume involves both a buyer and a seller. So when hearing this, you're probably asking yourself, well then, how does the price change, right? If there's always a buyer and there's always a seller, isn't that zero sum? Wouldn't that be equilibrium? Well, there's actually two prices of a stock. As I open up my active trader window here, you will see what is called the trade ladder. And what you're looking at on the green side is the current number of shares sitting on the bid. On the red side is the current number of shares sitting on the ask. The bid represents the price at which people are willing to buy the stock. So it is the price below the current price of the stock. The ask is the price of which people are willing to sell the stock. So slightly higher than the current price of the stock. Stock prices move when volume appears heavier at one of these numbers. If there are more volume being traded at the ask, you eat through those ask levels and the price of the ticker goes up. If more volume is occurring at the bid levels get eaten through and the price of the ticker goes down. I will also here open up my time and sales, and this is a live feed of all the volume currently being traded in this stock. And you can see green represents volume traded at the ask, red represents volume traded at the bid, so you can start to get an idea of where is that volume pressure building. Now, both trade ladder and time and sales like that, they are both maybe a little bit more complex than where we currently are in this course, but it was required for me to show you that to discuss this next point, in that volume is pressure, right? Think of volume as, if more of it is trading at highs at the ask, that is pressure. That is called buying pressure, and that is what makes the stock go up. If more volume occurs at the bid, that's called selling pressure. That's what makes the price of stocks go down. The next thing I want to talk to you about is relative volume. To do that, I'm going to draw a line through what is roughly the middle of this volume chart. It's not perfect. It doesn't need to be. It's just a quick visualization for what I'm about to explain. Relative volume is how is the current volume compared to past volume. So right when this ticker gets its first big initial pop here at 8 a.m., assumedly on news, you can see it gets massive volume. Would have appeared on the stock scanner, would have had you in right here before another 27% move up. And you can see during that move, you also get increasing volume. The relative volume is actually going up on this thing. Then look what happens on this candle here. Not obviously just the price. The candle comes down. You get your trend reversal right here once you get this candle that closes below the low of previous candle, if you remember from our last lesson in this course. But more importantly, what are we talking about right now? Look at the volume on this candle. The volume on this candle also descends. You stop getting that increase in volume. You stop getting that building volume pressure. That means that demand for the stock, people that are willing to transact this stock, is dropping. When demand drops, often so does momentum. That is an extremely important thing to keep an eye on in your day trading. It is way more than just price action. You must be combining price action with volume. You understand both of those things, you are going to be a much better trader, I promise you. And then you can see up here, look at where does the stock start getting interesting again? On this candle right here, after the close of this candle, you get another nice 13% move. That's very nice. What happens on this candle? Yes, you get a price action breakout, but you also got a price action breakout here that failed. You got a price action breakout here that failed, here that failed. Why is this one different? Because look at the volume on this one. Very heavy relative volume, very heavy volume compared to the bars prior to it. I'd like to take this moment as well to talk about a failure. You might have looked at this candle right here. This one is also a price action breakout on very heavy volume, except this one fails. Guess what, guys? Unfortunately, there is nothing that anybody can teach you about the stock market that will always happen. If that were true, I would just teach you that. You'd probably pay me $100,000 for it because you know you'd easily make your money back. Trading is not fortune telling. I don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen. Warren Buffett doesn't know what's going to happen. Trading is statistics. If you would have lost in this trade, it's probably okay because if you're trading a similar strategy, you probably won on a trade in here. You probably won on some kind of trade in here. So that makes this loss manageable. And that's what trading is. Once again, trading is statistics. Buying and selling based on statistical likelihoods that are happening in front of you. Let's take a look here at ticker VCIG. This is a stock that was hitting my scanner back here on this candle as soon as it started breaking out on pretty decent relative volume. Since it hit the scanner, it has made a 30+% move up. I want to analyze this in real time and see if we can't, like we did in the last part of this trading course, identify the trend reversal together. Obviously, the current trend is still up as the stock continues to make new highs. This time we will use both price action that we learned in the last part of this course and the volume together. I will tell you right now that even though this candle got a price action breakout, it did not get a volume breakout. If we take a look here once again at the volume on this candle, it's coming down from the previous volume. So that is not a good sign for massive continuation in this thing. We'll keep an eye on the next candle. We're actually only 30 seconds through this candle and it's already matching the volume. So it looks like the volume is maybe still there, maybe still in trend. Of course, we want to use both of these things in lockstep together, right? That's actually a perfect example. Wow, the stock is going nuts. The stock was on the scanner a long time ago. This stock was on the scanner, just continuing to fly now. But perfect example. Just because volume is decreasing doesn't mean the trend is over, right? It's just a signal. Hey, the volume's coming down, maybe something to keep an eye on, but it's not time to think this thing isn't still strong. Of course, the price action is still extremely strong. And now we just got another huge both price action candle and volume candle. This is the highest volume of the day just occurred on this candle at highs. So what we're looking for now to determine trend change is the first candle to close below the low of previous candle and for volume to be decreasing, or should I say, or for volume to be decreasing sort of longer over time, right? Not just it was increasing, you get one decrease. We want to see a trend of volume decreasing. I'm not going to sit here and stare at this chart. We'll come back once I notice that trend change pattern, should I say, starting to occur. So this is 1 minute later, and look at what happened. Here, you got a major decrease in volume alongside a pullback candle. And now you are starting to get that candle under candle. Of course, we want to wait to see if it closes below the low of this candle, but the candle does close in 3 seconds. So it does look like it's going to. It tried to bounce. Okay, so you now officially have your trend change based on the price action. You get candle that closed below the low of previous candle, and you can use the volume deceleration now to confirm that. Demand in the stock has slowed, which once again is typically, not always, there's never something that always happens in the stock market, but typically a good statistical sign that the momentum of the move is also slowing. And 1 minute later, look at how bad this stock is now moving. So using both what you learned about price action in the last lesson and what you learned about volume in this lesson, you were able to determine that momentum was beginning to slow on this candle as you got a massive volume decrease. You got confirmation of the trend reversal on this candle with the candle closing below the low of previous candle. And you can further confirm that by the further deceleration of volume. So right here on this candle, you were able to identify that the trend is now down. The stock is now weak, so maybe it's not time to be buying. Don't buy stocks in downtrend, only buy stocks in uptrend. You were able to determine that here, so you did not buy this dip. You did not partake in any of this backside loss. You now understand that float represents the supply of a stock. Volume represents the demand of a stock. And when you get heavy volume into low float, that is going to be a volatile ticker, and that is what you should be targeting for your day trading. You also understand that volume represents pressure. Buying pressure if volume's occurring on the ask, selling pressure if volume's occurring on the bid, and that's what causes the price of stocks to move. You understand what relative volume is, and you understand how to combine relative volume with the price action from the last lesson to help you determine trend. Remember, if you are interested in accessing this real-time stock scanner that puts you on these moves every 250 milliseconds, updating like we just saw here with MSS, if I can get it loaded in, the stock is indeed going nuts. If you are interested in a scanner that can put you on these kinds of moves, my scanner is available over on my website, daytradingstrategies.net. I will link it at the top of the description down below. Go over there, go click on the green Get Instant Access button and join the over 7,000 paying subscribers today. Okay, hopefully you feel like you learned a lot in today's video. Get excited for tomorrow's lesson number 3, which is all about news, which is extremely important. We will actually talk in detail about how you identify news and how you trade news, like what just made this stock explode here at 9 a.m. this morning. I'll see you all then.